Greetings, Elder Blacklight. Now, a lot of y'all are too young to remember when Jesse Jackson was running for president, vice president in the Democratic Party in 1983 and 1984, and Minister Farrakhan endorsed him, going off into a political party of Democrats because Farrakhan registered. And then controversy erupted when Jesse Jackson and I think Farrakhan were accused of calling the Jews Jaime. You see, he said something about Jaime Town. The Jews got mad at Jesse, and Jesse threw Farrakhan under the bus, and they fell out. Well, we're gonna show you this old clip of what the white media was saying about Farrakhan and Jesse.
Nicknamed the Charmer, Farrakhan inherited the New York ministry of Malcolm X, and after the death of Nation of Islam founder Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan assumed leadership of the Chicago-based sect. His rhetoric from the pulpit was fiery but drew no national notice. Translated into politics, it became explosive. At the urging of Jesse Jackson, Farrakhan 6 years ago registered to vote, becoming an active supporter of Jackson's presidential hopes and an incendiary surrogate in the campaign.
The rule of Caucasian people is a rule that is based on injustice and against the will of God.
His words ignited rage when he called Judaism in Israel a gutter religion, and when he praised Adolf Hitler in a speech closed to cameras.
Hitler was a very great man. Farrakhan was a man. He worked with the Ku Klux Klan.
Often dogged by demonstrators at public appearances, he draws huge crowds on lecture tours that stop at giant sports arenas or college auditoriums. But even Farrakhan's defenders admit his underlying message, promoting black self-development, opposing drug use and crime, is frequently upstaged by the anger of his oratory.
These people intend your and my destruction. And the blacks in government are placed there to be apologists for this bureaucracy that is destroying your people.
He claims that Jews in America hold too much power, yet insists he's not anti-Semitic nor anti-white. Farrakhan is a victim of press distortion, he says, and the target of a federal assassination plot. And through interviews and talk shows, he's now on a campaign to engage mainstream America in a new debate. Richard Roth, CBS News, New York.
And Minister Louis Farrakhan joins us live from the Chicago headquarters of the Nation of Islam. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
A lot of people in America are curious why all of a sudden the heretofore unavailable and uninterviewable Louis Farrakhan, the man who supposedly hates whites and hates Jews, wants to talk to everybody. Why is that?
Well, sir, that is America's characterization of me through the media. However, I think the American people need to see, hear, touch, and feel Louis Farrakhan for themselves. And I believe if they are allowed to do that, they'll make their own judgment, not determined for them by a small group of persons who run the media or the newspapers, but they'll be able to make that determination of who and what I am when they see and hear me for themselves.
You are a disciple of Elijah Muhammad, who said, did he not, all whites are devils, evil by nature? You believe that?
Yes, I am a disciple of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he most certainly characterized the evil that white America has practiced on black people as most certainly not of God, but rather of Satan. And no one who looks at our history and the history of the relationship of whites to the darker peoples of the world would dare say that interaction has been saintly or godly, but the opposite.
Do you?
Now right there, when the devil asked Farrakhan about Elijah Muhammad called the white man the devil, Farrakhan switched it over to Elijah, saying, yeah, Elijah was talking about the characterization of the white man instead of the nature of the white man, which is that of the devil. Not because he was acting devilish, because he was a grafted devil. He's grafted from the black man, the original man of the world, and by nature he is unrighteous, so he's, by grafting, is the devil. But he didn't explain it like that because he was trying to go mainstream. He was backing up Jesse Jackson, and he was trying to go mainstream, and however, I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. Elijah Muhammad, he didn't care for Jesse Jackson. You know, so Farrakhan had to sell Jesse Jackson to his people, to the nation. And they was eating up Farrakhan because Farrakhan had that fiery language, but all the time Farrakhan wanted to go mainstream. Farrakhan wanted to go political. Farrakhan was thinking long term. And he was using the Nation of Islam to build his agenda up. Now, Elijah Muhammad, y'all know he would never interview like that. Y'all know how he gave his interviews. Only to certain people. And he wouldn't have never been on television, on the Phil Donahue show and whatever. He wouldn't consent to that. They would have to come to Elijah's domains. And Elijah, he wouldn't endorse Jesse Jackson and register to vote. So Jesse Jackson was getting more people, more blacks, to be Democratic. But they double-crossed Jesse. Jesse double-crossed Farrakhan. And Farrakhan, he's double-crossing us. Hate to say it like that, brother, but the proof is in the pudding. Like, you could tell after all these years, when you go to the root of it, and to the fruit of it, you see you done joined up with Father Fager or Flanagan or whatever, and Scientology, and you know, and you talking about, well, if I needed to, he kind of alluded to being sick, and he needed a doctor. And if you wouldn't care if the doctor was black or white, long as you got well, the doctor made you well. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wanted a black doctor to work on him in black hospitals. And before he got sick, he was trying to build a black hospital. Now, the program that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was setting forth, if we would have had black scientists, black hospitals, we would have had cancer cured. But they don't want cancer cured because the medical profession is booming. You know, the pharmaceutical profession is booming with sick black people, period. This is how they make their money and giving people false hope. It's how these false leaders, well, they're not false because they do have followers, but the people are being misled. This is Black Light.